guys, is that the diamond ender dragon? OMG, that is insane.
These are the funniest fake Minecraft speedruns in history. So this first speedrunner spawns in near a village, and honestly, everything appears to be pretty normal. The world generation looks good, doesn't have any XP in his hotbar, and he appears to be in survival mode. But as he goes to loot one of the village houses, he makes a very obvious mistake. He accidentally presses tab and reveals that he's playing with one other person, something obviously not allowed during a solo speedrun. But it doesn't stop there, because after getting some hay and looting a few more houses, he forgets to mute his mic, and you can clearly hear him talking to his friend, the same one on the Minecraft server with him. Let's take a listen.
Yo, you put the diamond in the chest, right?
And it's no surprise when he finds this exact diamond in the next village house that he loots. It's pretty obvious he's using his friend to get OP loot. But this isn't the only help he receives in the speedrun, because as he makes his way to a nearby lava pool, he finds a random water bucket on the ground. And this guy has terrible acting.
Okay guys, basically there's a new feature where water buckets randomly spawn, so we're just gonna use that really quick.
But wait, rewind the footage and take a closer look at this tree, where the same friend we hear him talking to is trying to blend in by using a wood skin. I think it's pretty obvious he's the one who dropped the water bucket there. So he uses the water bucket to begin crafting a nether portal and enters the nether. Now, it would appear that he's traveling in a random direction, but he's actually following these strange particles in the air. And these particles are clearly coming from his friend we saw earlier in the run using an invisibility potion. And this is confirmed when he's unmuted and we can hear him asking his friend to lead him to the fortress. Let's take a listen.
Bro, you're leading me to the fortress, right?
This guy needs to learn how to mute his mic. So he reaches the fortress, kills some blazes, and gets 7 rods. But he doesn't go to a bastion to get ender pearls like in a normal speedrun, because he actually finds an enderman spawner, something that definitely doesn't exist in a fortress. And I'm pretty sure we all know who placed this spawner here. So he heads back to the overworld, and it's time for him to locate the stronghold. But notice how he doesn't actually follow this Eye of Ender that he throws, and actually goes in a completely different direction where he somehow magically finds the stronghold. But he makes a huge mistake you may have missed, because in this frame you can clearly see him using the /locate command, which reveals exactly how he knew to dig down at this block. So he finds the end portal room, but make note of the fact that there are 0 eyes in the portal, which is a problem for the runner because he only has 11 eyes. And because you need 12 to finish the portal, he can't travel to the end. But after the speedrunner loots this chest and turns back around, there's been an eye mysteriously placed in the portal. Now, I would be suspicious of the friend we've seen throughout the run, but there's no particles in the air that would point to him being there. But let's take a closer look. Remember when the speedrunner tried to blend in with the tree earlier in the run? You've got to be kidding me. He's trying to blend in with the wall? Well, I guess we know where that extra pearl came from. So the speedrunner enters the end, but notice how he doesn't have any beds, something very commonly used to kill the dragon. But not to worry, because he finds a building called the bed house. What explanation is he gonna give this time?
Guys, let's just go use the new bed house feature they just added in Minecraft.
Yeah, I bet my life savings that this isn't a real feature. So he goes inside the house where there's a sign saying deposit obsidian, and out comes all the beds that he needs to kill the dragon. While this speedrun was clearly fake, our next speedrunner might be even worse. This next speedrunner is so confident, he believes he'll somehow get a world record.
Today's the day I'm going to get the world record for Minecraft speedrunning.
So let's take a look. Right off the bat, notice how he doesn't show any world generation and skips straight from the loading screen to the spawn. Very suspicious. But giving him the benefit of the doubt, his spawn does seem fairly normal. He's in survival mode, he selected the first slot in his inventory, and he's even provided us with a timer to track the speedrun. But nothing can quite prepare you for what's about to happen. Is that Jesus? This must be a new update that I missed out on. So Jesus spawns in and breaks a sand block leading to a chest, which of course contains some of the most overpowered loot in the game. So the speedrunner continues by looking for a spot to build a nether portal using the obsidian he received from Jesus. But in this frame, we can clearly see he changes game mode to survival, meaning there was a cut in his footage. My suspicion is he was looking for the best coordinates to place his nether portal, but forgot to hide this message. So he enters the nether, and yet again the chat exposes his cheating. But instead of looking for a bastion to get the gold needed to trade with piglins, he magically gets all of the gold he needs from, you guessed it, Jesus. So he tries to find a piglin to use this gold, and it seems as though he finds one. But take a closer look. In slow motion, you can see that the piglin makes this very fast and unrealistic movement, which is very different from the movement mechanics of a real piglin. Also, the shape of the piglin looks slightly different from a real one. All this points to the piglin being an actual player, most likely one of his friends simply using a piglin skin. So he gives this quote-unquote piglin his gold in hopes to receive some loot. But instead of blaze rods, his piglin friend accidentally gives him sticks. How can you be this bad while cheating? So he eventually gets his blaze rods and heads back to the overworld. And it appears as though he's actually trying to speedrun for real, because he starts throwing his eyes of ender to try to find the strongholds. But as he's doing this, he finds a rather interesting mob. Or shall I say, Sonic? How many updates did I miss? So Sonic blesses the runner with a speed effect that's apparently level 1001. And I guess that's so fast that he just teleports straight into the end. Now, even though the speedrunner got insanely overpowered loot earlier in the run, you'll notice that he doesn't remember to bring any beds with him, something used by almost all speedrunners in a speedrun. But I guess this guy had some feeling that he would magically find Dream in the end. Wait, that's not the real one, is it? And Dream gifts the speedrunner a netherite axe with sharpness level 255. And it's clear that the Ender Dragon stands no chance against this speedrunner. This next speedrunner spawns in and immediately goes to mine some wood. He then collects some rocks, and then gets into a fight with the spider. Wait, this is the wrong footage. So this next speedrun begins, and take a very close look at the world generation. In a real speedrun, the screen must show this number reaching 100%. But in this speedrun, you can see him cut the footage at 98%. So when he spawns right in front of a village, we know he's using a set seed and edited the world generation to make it look real. But giving him the benefit of the doubt, everything looks legitimate at a first glance. He doesn't have any XP, he's in survival mode, and doesn't start with any weird items in his inventory. Until you look closer at the roof of this village house, which has clearly been marked by the speedrunner with this slightly different colored stair, to mark out the fact that this house has a chest with bread, apples. Wait, is that a rocket launcher? Remember this for later. So he leaves the village and begins his search to find a lava pool to build a nether portal, where he suddenly stops and digs straight down at this random block, magically leading him straight to a lava pool. But how is it possible he knew to dig down at this exact block? Well, if we slow down this footage from just a few seconds earlier, you can clearly see the position of the bread and apples in his hotbar switch, meaning there was a cut in his recording, which allowed the speedrunner to go off camera and find the location of the lava pool in spectator mode. So he begins to build his nether portal, but ends up running out of lava with just one block short of finishing the portal. But somehow he actually manages to light the nether portal, and I'm not even gonna try to explain how he does that. So he enters the nether and immediately spawns in front of a fortress. But instead of heading straight into it, the speedrunner oddly just stops moving his character and stands completely still while the timer is still running. Let's just take a listen to his audio to figure out what's going on.
Jimmy, get off Minecraft and go do your homework.
I kid you not, he literally changes his tab from Minecraft to Khan Academy and starts doing math equations. You cannot make this up.
5 minutes later.
Anyway, he finally returns to the game and heads into the fortress where he's able to get 7 blaze rods fairly easily. He then makes his way over to a nearby bastion and ends up getting pretty lucky with the piglin trades, getting 16 pearls very quickly. But that is not what's fake about these piglin trades, because he also ends up getting a compass, something that is impossible to receive from a piglin trade. Now you're probably asking, why would the speedrunner fake getting a compass, because how could that even help him in the speedrun? Well, when he goes back to the overworld and opens his crafting table, he uses this exact compass to craft something called a stronghold finder. And with just one click of it, a message appears saying stronghold located, and the compass directs the speedrunner straight to the stronghold. And now it's clear why he made it seem like he got the compass from a piglin. So he finds the end portal room and begins to fill the portal, but ends up just being one eye short. But hold on, take a closer look at this block. This block is smooth stone, when in a normal stronghold, this block is supposed to be a stone brick. And when he breaks this smooth stone, he magically finds a chest with the last eye of vendor he needs to finish the portal. He clearly tried to mark out the spot of the chest by using a different block, hoping we wouldn't notice. So the speedrunner enters the end, and here's where things get crazy. You're probably expecting him to fight the dragon with maybe some beds, perhaps even a bow. Oh no, no, no. Do you remember when earlier in the run, the speedrunner got a rocket launcher from this chest? Well, he equips it and... I think the footage just spoke for itself. So this next speedrun begins with the runner mining some wood, crafting some tools, and finding a nearby village, where he enters this house and finds a chest with some pretty normal items. Some iron, some bread. Is that a dragon egg? Remember this for later. So the speedrunner then goes to kill the iron golem. But along with dropping iron, the iron golem also drops flint and steel. Something that is impossible, as flint and steel can't be dropped from iron golems. So the speedrunner travels to a nearby ruined portal and uses the flint and steel he got from the iron golem to enter the nether. Okay, so the speedrunner is in the nether and take a very good look at the area surrounding him when he spawns. Because he goes to this wall, and when he turns around, he's magically in front of a bastion. But if we compare this to the area he was at just seconds before, we can clearly tell there was never a bastion there. Meaning he used turning around at the wall as a distraction to make a cut in the speedrun. This is further proven when he accidentally opens his chat, revealing he used a /locate command. But even with all of this cheating, the speedrunner decides to completely ignore the bastion and never go inside of it. Even though in a normal speedrun, the bastion is used to trade with piglins and get ender pearls. But this decision will make some sense in a second. So he then finds a fortress and begins to kill some blazes. But these blazes not only drop blaze rods, but they also drop ender pearls. Meaning the speedrunner not only messed with the loot drops of the blazes, but now it makes sense as to why he completely ignored the bastion. So he collects all of the rods and pearls that he needs and wants to head back to the overworld, where he finds a very specific spot marked out to build a nether portal. But if we take a closer look at the speedrunner's inventory, he has 0 obsidian, so how is he supposed to craft a nether portal? Okay, well, I guess he's deciding to build it with nether bricks, not really sure how that's supposed to work. Wait, how did that work? So the speedrunner heads back to the overworld and ends up finding the stronghold and enters it. So the speedrunner fills the portal and makes his way into the end. And the first thing you'll notice is that all of the end crystals are mysteriously gone. And the second thing you'll notice is, wait, is that a 3 3-headed ender dragon? This world is so cursed. Now, in a normal speedrun, beds are usually the preferred way to beat the game. But I'm not sure if measly little beds will be able to handle the 3-headed dragon. Well, do you remember earlier in the run when the speedrunner found a dragon egg? Well, he uses the egg to spawn in his very own fire dragon that he can actually ride. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. Bye!